I will discuss regarding data part and control part of a digital system. Okay, which is something which is in context with what we discussed yesterday regarding the high level synthesis. Okay, so just so that is control and data flow graph, which is the one of the widely accepted modeling paradigm for a specification, that is proceed through a HLS tool, that is a high level synthesis. So it is lead to a efficient circuit implementation in terms of the area, power and frequency. Usually these three are a most important parameter for our any VLSI circuit. So it will take the optimized CDFG. HLS will take as an input this optimized CDFG and perform scheduling, allocation, binding and generate the RTL design accordingly. Okay. So scheduling, allocation and binding we have already discussed. So probably now you can realize it in much better way that scheduling, allocation, binding and then probably your data part and control part design. Now first step in a HLS is compilation of HDL transformation into internal representation. So most HLS techniques use that as a control part and data part design. So now while we are thinking about that, at that time we need to use some sort of optimization technique. Okay, like some sort of dead code elimination. We need to reduce the strength of the operator. Like if I at all I have a divisor or multiplication, or if I can replace it with some if we can replace it with some uh, lesser strength block, that is a adder, subtractor or shifter, then it would be good enough. Okay, so this initial level optimization always we do, okay, before starting our design. So that is also one of the important things. Okay, now then probably we need to take care of a scheduling. Now for a scheduling, I think we have talked enough that scheduling is equivalent to your control step. Okay, so ultimately I am assigning a some sort of time step to a functional unit where it has to execute according to their relation also. Now allocation is to choose the functional unit and the storage element. Okay, so I need to choose that this operation is there. Now this operation is to be done with the which particular functional block. If I want to store the value, then which kind of register I will use for the storage. Now, when I talk about the adder, then in adder also you have a several option like a ripple carry adder, carry look ahead adder. So every adder or every functional block has its own pros and cons. Okay, like ripple carry adder is simplest one to design, but of course it will take a larger time for execution. Carry look ahead adder is the fastest one, but it is somewhat complex to design. Okay, so for the storage element also we have a means register with the different external terminal with the reset, preset, load, like that. So it is up to you that which suits best for your application, and according to that you need to choose. Okay, now what are the strategy for the choice, that also we will discuss. Okay, now allocation algorithm must select one of the match which is according to your constraint. Okay, like if I want to go for a system based in terms of the performance, that means speed. So that means whatever the functional unit that I am choosing, that also has to be a faster, so that in overall system level I can get the performance improvement. Now binding is another step where functional operation and storage operations are scheduled and components from the design library are selected for the allocation. So that is the binding. I think this somewhat we have discussed. So I am just going quickly. So final step is data part, control part generation. So depending upon the scheduling, binding and all these things, interconnection between the circuit module of the data part components, we will go for a data part generation. Now FSM is basically for a control part design. Okay, whenever I say a control part, then usually control part is it is represented in terms of the FSM point. Okay. Now, for a scheduling, Now scheduling we discussed yesterday, that what I mean by unconstrained scheduling, time constraint scheduling, resource scheduling, maybe time resource both have a constraint. So how we can actually go for it. Now I will explain to you a simple Boolean expression. Okay. Now consider that this for this particular Boolean expression a plus b plus c plus d into e, for which I need to go for a data part and control part design. So of course, this is a simple design. Just for your better understanding, I have taken this simple design. But if you understand the concept or how I approach to go for a data part and control part design for this particular Boolean expression, then I believe that you can do it for any particular algorithm also. So for a scheduling, probably I can have a scheduling of an unconstrained type like this, where for this expression a plus b. Now if you just observe that for this expression a plus b, now again I will just look at for some sort of initial level optimization. So if I just look at for an initial level optimization over here, then probably for this expression I will pick a plus b and c plus d separately. Now these two maybe I can do parallelly, and then whatever the output is that I will add. So probably I can consider this is my output. This is my output 1. This is my output 2. Then whatever the addition of a plus b is output 1, c plus d is output 2. Then I will add output 1 plus output 2, and then I will add to the or sorry, I will multiply with the e. So this way I can do some sort of initial optimum. Now here through a bracket, what I have done that I have just ensured that a plus b and c plus d, there is no relation between them. So it can run parallelly. Okay. So if they run parallelly, then definitely I will get the performance improvement. Now as here there is a no constraint. So for a no constraint, I can consider that still I would like to complete this operation as early as possible. So now for that, if I consider a possible graph representation, then this one. Okay, just observe a plus b, then it is O1. O1 is just representation of my addition, which is for output 1. Okay, c plus d is O2. They are being executed at time step 1. Both are running parallelly. Now a plus b is giving output as a temp 1. Okay, this is not the final output. Final output we want a plus b plus c plus d whole bracket multiply by e. So probably I will use some temporary variable in between to store the value. So a plus b will give me the output temp 1. B plus c plus d will give me the output temp 2, and then I will add temp 1 plus temp 2. That will give me the temp 3. Now temp 3 is nothing but a plus b plus c plus d, and then whatever the output that I am getting at a temp 3, that would be multiplied with the e. Okay, so the temp 1 plus temp 2 addition in a second time step, and the multiplication of temp 3 with the e, that would happen in a time step 3. Now time constraint. So probably if I go for a time constraint, then graph would be same, because this particular expression, if I want to complete it, then it could be completed in a 3 clock cycle, not lesser than 3 clock cycle. Because of the dependency, whatever it is having, we can complete it in a 3 clock cycle. Now there may be possibility that I can go for a resource constraint. Now in a resource constraint, I am considering that one resource at a time. So if I look at the resource constraint optimization problem, and if I try to draw DFG, then this would be the DFG, where a plus b at first time instance, one resource is, then output of that will be multiplied with the c, added with the c, then output of that is temp 2, which is added with the d, then output of that which is temp 3, which is multiplied by e, and finally the whatever the desired output, that a plus b plus c plus d whole bracket into e will be generated. Okay, so this is some sort of initial level scheduling that I can apply. Now I will quickly go for Okay, now allocation. Now another thing is allocation we need to think about. That then whenever we are talking about the allocation, at that time we need to also remember that what is our objective. That whether we want to achieve area, power or frequency. Okay, according to that I will go for allocation. Now what happens that when I have a choice of a adder and multiplier, because if you remember my expression a plus b plus c plus d into e, the two operators are there. One is a addition, another is a multiplication. Now addition is total 3 number of times. Okay, so 3 operation of a addition I require and 1 for a multiplication. So total 4 operation, out of which 3 addition, 1 multiplication. Now when I think about selecting a addition, then obviously I will go for a adder, and for a multiplication I will go for a multiplier. Now if I think about the adder, then adder can be of different type. As I said in one of the earlier slide, that you can go for addition with the carry look ahead adder, you can go for a ripple carry adder. Now ripple carry adder is something simplest one. Okay, maybe area wise also it is maybe efficient than your carry look ahead adder. Okay, but carry look ahead are having some sort of complex design, larger area, but it is good in terms of the speed. While ripple carry adder maybe somewhat lesser area, but suffer in terms of the speed. So adder can be slow and fast. Now here, if you observe that in this particular table, I have defined some notation. Okay, so first one, if you observe third column where I have defined a type, then type can be T1 and T2. So T1 is nothing but a adder type and T2 is a multiplier. Okay, so T1 stands for adder, T2 stands for multiplier. Now the fourth particularly column. So in a subtype I have used T1S. So T1 is for adder, S is basically for slow. So I am denoting T1S, then T1 is a adder and S means slow. That means I am indicating slow adder. Similarly, just below that, T1F. So T1 is for adder, F is for faster. So T1F is defining the faster adder. T2S, again, T2 is for your multiplier. So T2S, that is the slowest multiplier. T2F means fastest multiplier. Now with this, the next 3 columns are important. Okay. So along with this adder and multiplier, which is of the category of slowest and faster, I can have a frequency, area and power. So that means F, capital F subscript T1S. That means frequency of my slowest adder. T1F, frequency. That means frequency of my fastest adder. Similarly, T2S is the frequency of my slowest multiplier. FT2F is the fastest multiplier frequency, correspondingly area and power. Okay. So what is the point over here? That frequency, area and power for slowest adder and a fastest adder along with the slowest multiplier and fastest adder is being defined. Now, which one you need to pick up? So this is there. You consider that it is already being designed. Now, it is your choice that which one you need to pick. So whenever I would like to pick any particular resources, so first thing is I need to think about the objective. What is my objective? Of course, if I think about speed, then definitely I will look for a faster adder and faster multiplier. Okay. If I'm looking about low power, then probably there is a different perspective that probably I will think about the adder and multiplier, which may be faster or slower, but prime objective is it should be low power. Okay. Now, if I look at this particular expression, A plus B plus C plus D. Okay. Now, if you look at this particular expression, now here, if you observe that A plus B, I will do, A plus B, I will do, C plus D, I will do. Now, I will define this as a operation 1 when I am doing A plus B. C plus D is operation 2. When I perform operation 1 plus operation 2 addition, then I am defining operation 3. Now corresponding that is considering that I have 2 resources T1 and T2, that is for a adder and a multiplier. So T1 is a adder, so that means O1, O2, O3 is for a type T1 and O4 is for type T2 because T2 is a multiplier. Now T1 and T2 I have. Now according to that, which I need to choose, that we will discuss. Now according to our requirement, frequency and available area power overhead, we select subtype for T1, T2. That means we will select adder and multiplier accordingly that. Now if you look at this, our original design. Okay, so if I look at my graph, where observe it over here. Now over here in time step 1 I have a adder, in time step 2 I have a adder, and in time step 3 I have a multiplier. Now if I think about the critical block out of all this, then multiplier. Definitely multiplier would be the critical block because it would take larger time compared to addition. Okay, because in a multiplication itself we have addition. Where partial product is generated, we need to do the addition and then plus the overhead to generate the partial product. So multiplier is definitely taking a larger time than your adder. So probably what I will do, I will think about using a fastest multiplier for this particular design. Okay, so if it is a fastest multiplier, then definitely that this will help me to improve my performance. Now what about adders? Which kind of adder I need to choose? Now if you think about the adder, then adder may not be defined by clock frequency for this particular system. Okay, because clock frequency always decided by a verse block which takes maximum of time. So probably your multiplier is a guy whom you consider as a critical block. So I will think about the fastest multiplier. Now the point is, what about the adder? I can go for a fastest adder. Okay, I can go for a fastest adder. But what is the usual thing? The frequency of the fast multiplier is generally less compared to a slow adder. Now what is the meaning of this? The frequency of the fast multiplier is less compared to your slow adder. Now what it says that कि मुझे अगर एडिशन करना है तो अगर मैं एडिशन फास्टेस्ट एडर से करना चाहूंगा, if I choose a fastest adder, then any of these fastest adder will not help me to improve the system performance, क्योंकि एडिशन से तो कोई फर्क पड़ने ही नहीं वाला, क्योंकि मल्टीप्लीकेशन ब्लॉक है जिसकी वजह से मेरी सिस्टम क्लॉक डिफाइन होगी. पर अगर मैं फास्टेस्ट एडर देता हूं तो शायद उससे सिस्टम फ्रीक्वेंसी पे फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, बट डेफिनेटली इट विल रिफ्लेक्ट इन अ पावर, क्योंकि इफ इट इज अ फास्टेस्ट एडर देन डेफिनेटली डायनेमिक पावर वुड बी मोर. तो क्या होगा कि मैं इस पर्टिकुलर एग्जांपल में अगर फास्टेस्ट एडर लेता भी हूं तो भी मेरे लिए कोई फायदे वाला चीज नहीं है, ठीक है, बिकॉज दैट एडर विल नॉट हेल्प मी, बिकॉज if I use the something as a fast adder, then it should improve the clock frequency. पर इसमें एडर मेरा क्लॉक फ्रीक्वेंसी में तो कोई कंट्रीब्यूट करने नहीं वाला, बट अगर मैंने फास्टेस्ट एडर लिया तो ये मेरे पावर में डेफिनेटली कंट्रीब्यूट करेगा, क्योंकि फास्टेस्ट एडर की जो पावर होता है वो लार्जर होता है, ठीक है. सो वी यूज अ स्लो एडर विदाउट एनी कॉम्प्रोमाइज ओवरऑल टाइम पीरियड. तो मैं स्लो एडर भी लूंगा ना तो जिससे मेरे सिस्टम के परफॉर्मेंस में कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, पर डेफिनेटली उसके पावर में पड़ेगा, ठीक है. सो दिस वे प्रोबेबली यू कैन थिंक अबाउट दैट चूजिंग which particular resource you want to choose or allocate or you want to bind for that particular operation. So here for a O1, O2, O3, I will go for a slowest adder. Okay, so that would be the good enough, but the multiplier will be faster. Okay, because that multiplier will decide my clock frequency. Now if you just observe that the clock frequency is anyhow decided by T2. T2 is just nothing but by my multiplier. So for T1, probably I will go for a slowest adder. So slow multiplier will compromise your overall time. Of course, there is not a good choice to think about the slowest multiplier, but slow adder will work. Okay. So that's what I would like to convey over here with the allocation of the resources. तो आपको सारे क्राइटेरिया डिफाइन करने हैं कि अगर आप कोई एक पर्टिकुलर क्राइटेरिया से एक पर्टिकुलर रिसोर्स को एलोकेट करते हो तो वो रिसोर्सेज आपके ओवरऑल ऑब्जेक्टिव में क्या कंट्रीब्यूट करता है. ठीक है, जैसे कि यहाँ पे मल्टीप्लायर ही मेरा कंट्रीब्यूट करेगा फास्टेस्ट में, my adder will not do. But if I choose the fastest adder, then probably it will do the contribution towards my overall power of the system. Now, after all the operation are being scheduled and allocation is done, we get information regarding the exact type of circuit module to be used with the number. So that we will see. Okay, now I am just directly moving forward to how I can go for a data part and a control part design for this. Okay, now for a storage, definitely I can use some register. Okay, so I will use a simple register over here, which could be as similar to your D flip-flop. Then probably adder and multiplier, I will use two different resources for performing addition as well as a subtraction. Now, if you go back to our scheduling, okay, so we will think about the time constraint scheduling problem, and we will try to draw a data part and control part, which should be satisfying the time constraint scheduling optimization problem. Okay, so here if you look at that, how many adder I require for a implementation, I need 2 adder. Okay, 2 adder will do, because in time step 1 I require 2 adder. Time step 3 is a adder that I can actually combine with the any of 1, which is I am using in a time step 1. Yesterday if you remember binding, okay, तो ये जो मेरा ऑपरेशन है, इसको मैं इसके साथ कर सकता हूं या इसके साथ कर सकता हूं. I don't want third adder. Of course, third operation is addition, but for that I don't require third adder because it is being scheduled at another time step. Definitely I require a multiplier. Okay, so now if I look at my functional unit, then for a functional unit I need 2 adder and 1 multiplier. So those are my data part module. Okay, कि मेरे एडर्स और मल्टीप्लायर जो है वो मेरे डेटा पार्ट के फंक्शनल यूनिट होंगे. ठीक है, अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट व्हाट आई नीड स्टोरेज. ठीक है, बिकॉज यूजुअली आई विल स्टोर द वैल्यू एंड देन आई विल प्रोसेस. तो अगर आप देखोगे तो हाउ मेनी मिनिमम रजिस्टर यू रिक्वायर. सो इफ यू लुक एट वन पर्टिकुलर टाइम इंस्टेंट, देन देखो टाइम step 1 पे A, B, C, D are the input. So that means you require a storage for A, B, C, D. That means time step 1, 4 register. Temp 1, temp 2, it is in time step 2 where I require 2 register. In time step 3, in order to store temp 3, I require 1 register. So overall I look at the maximum number of register is 4. So ultimately I need at least 4 register in order to draw my data part design. So for a data part, I require 2 functional unit and 4 register. So that is what I want. So what I will do, I will simply now jumping towards my design कि मैं अभी data part और control part को कैसे डिजाइन करूंगा. Now just observe that कि मैंने 2 adder लिए हैं. ठीक है, these 2 are my adder. This and this is my adder. Now for this adder, A and B are the input. ओके, तो मैं क्या करूंगा कि नाउ लेट्स कंसीडर अ सिंपलेस्ट केस कि मेरा ये एक एडर है, ये मेरा एक एडर है, उसके लिए मेरे इनपुट आ गए ए बी सी डी. ठीक है, ये दोनों पैरेलली रन होंगे, ये दोनों टाइम स्टेप 1 के लिए हैं. ठीक है, ये टाइम स्टेप 1 में एग्जीक्यूट होंगे और आउटपुट क्या देंगे, मेरा आउटपुट होगा इसका टेम्प 1 और टेम्प 2. ठीक है, अभी टेम्प 1 और टेम्प 2 दोनों मुझे सेकंड टाइम स्टेप पे चाहिए, तो उसके लिए स्टोरेज में ए और बी को यूज कर सकता हूं. ठीक है, ये जो 4 रजिस्टर है ए बी सी डी, इन चारों में से कोई भी को मैं यूज कर सकता हूं इन ऑर्डर टू स्टोर माय टेम्प 1 एंड टेम्प 2. और उसके बाद मुझे क्या करना है, टेम्प 1 और टेम्प 2 का एडिशन करना है. नाउ टेम्प 1 एंड टेम्प 2 का एडिशन भी जो यहां पे हो रहा है वो मेरा सेकंड टाइम स्टेप पे हो रहा है. सो दैट मीन्स I can afford to use any one of this particular adder. No need to go for a separate adder. So that's why I can use any one. Let's consider that I am using this particular adder. Okay. Now in order to do that, probably For this adder, I need to have another option that I can provide temp1 and I can provide temp2. क्योंकि temp1 और temp2 इस एडर में जाएंगे तो फिर मेरा आउटपुट temp3 आएगा. ठीक है. So temp1, temp2 will go to the same adder, but that is at a different time slot. We have already defined that in a scheduling algorithm. Then it will generate the temp3. और temp3 को मुझे फिर मल्टीप्लाई कर रहा है, तो temp3 अगेन आई रिक्वायर एट थर्ड टाइम स्लॉट. तो उसके लिए मैं यहां पे कोई भी रजिस्टर को फिर से यूज कर सकता हूं. ठीक है. एंड देन आई कैन डू द multiplication with A. Now here if you observe that here I need addition with A plus B, so A और B डायरेक्टली यहां पे आ जाएंगे रजिस्टर. पर सेकंड टाइम स्टेप में क्या है कि दिस इनपुट कैन बी temp1 ऑल्सो. तो यहां पे ये temp1 भी हो सकता है. सो वो temp1 होगा या A होगा. इफ आई वांट अ चॉइस to store in the register, then the best possible option is a mux. I can use a mux. The mux will provide me the choice whether I want A1, A or temp1. Now, where I want to store A or where I want to store temp1, that is just a scheduling. Okay. So for that, probably I can go for a control path design. That we will discuss. Okay. But currently, just think about that. A and temp1 both has to be stored at register 1. But those are with the different time interval. So A and temp1 will go to the mux. Now selection of the mux will decide that whether I need to store A or whether I need to store temp1. That's it. So that I can do. That I will take care. Again, over here for B, if you observe, for B and temp2, there is an option. Okay. So again, I will use a mux. कि यहाँ पे B भी हो सकता है, temp2 भी हो सकता है. तो वो मक्स से मैं डिसाइड करूंगा कि बी करना है या temp2 करना है. फॉर दैट ऑल्सो आई कैन हैव सम सिलेक्शन दैट विल टेक केयर ऑफ वेदर आई नीड टू गो फॉर अ बी और वेदर आई नीड टू गो फॉर अ temp2. temp1 temp2 आ गए, उसके बाद एडिशन होगा और फिर मेरा temp3 जनरेट होगा. ठीक है. नाउ फॉर दिस एडर इफ आई लुक एट, देन फॉर दिस एडर, that adder first of all will do operation 1 and then it will do the operation 3, because we are considering that for this temp1 2 addition which I am defining operation 3, this is operation 1, this is operation 2 and this is operation 3. So operation 3 will be done by this adder only. Okay. But at the same time, what I want that C plus D should be also added. So parallelly I will use another adder where I can store C directly. I will store D directly. Okay. Again, there is a possibility that here in a time slot 3, I need to introduce E variable. Now that E has to be stored somewhere. So for that matter, I can use a register 3 or maybe I can use a register 4. Here they have used the register 4. Okay. So let's stick with that I am interested in to go for a register 4. So now I will draw a updated diagram. Okay. Where I will consider that here it is A or temp1, here it is B or temp2, here it is C, here for this register I will go for a D and E. Again there is a one more variable which will be generated temp3 at the output of a time step 2, which will be the addition of temp1 and temp2. For that again I will use this register. Now you can use any register. Okay. It is not like that you can, because for a time step 3 probably all the register are free. Okay, so you can use any one of register, but let's consider that I would like to go for this register. Now this looks fine. Okay, now probably I have defined all the storage where all the values will be stored, what are my different functional block, but still I need that this should be of a proper execution. ठीक है. ये scheduling algorithm now we need to apply, that we need to schedule this resource properly, and scheduling is nothing but your part of the control part design. Then scheduling, I need to have some clever selection method. Through that I ensure that the A and B will be stored simultaneously At the same time, C and D will be stored simultaneously to respectively register. Then it will apply to the adder and then it will generate the proper output. And once the addition of adder 1 and adder 2 both are there, then I will add the output of the both, then it will generate the temp tree. Then whenever the temp tree is applicable to multiplier, then E has to be applied and then it should generate the final output. Now this is a job of the scheduling that I need to take care. Okay, so that also I will discuss in a next subsequent slide, that how you can go for a scheduling. But presently, regarding the data part module, whatever the block is being represented, multiplier, adder, register 1, register 2, register 4, apart from mux, that should be clear at your end. Okay, so these are being selected. Okay, properly. Now just move ahead. So based on the facts, this is the same thing that I have discussed, that binding of operation 1 is to adder 1, O2 to the adder 2 and O3 again to the adder 2. That means temp 1 and temp 2 will be added to the again for the same addition. Now A temp 1 temp 3 I am using for a register 1, B temp 2 to the register 2, C to the register 3, D and E for a register 4, and operation O4 is a multiplier. It is the same thing what we discussed in this particular slide. Now, what I need to do? I need to think about the managing this thing cleverly, because all the data part modules are there. But now in order to schedule it as per my requirement, I will generate the cleverly the control signal. So what I want initially, I want A plus D and C plus D to be performed simultaneously. So that means for this adder, A has to be there, here B has to be there, C has to be there in register 3 and register 4, the D should be there. So I need to ensure that from this mux, the selection comes out and A should be stored over here. The B should be stored over here, C in over here and D should be over here. So for that, now consider that this is my 0, this is my 1, this is my 0, this is my 1. Here there is no mux, here it is 0, here it is 1. So that means when I put the control 1 is equal to 0, that will go to the selection of these two mux, as well as here control 2 for this particular mux. So whenever control 1 is 0, at that time what happens, that this A will be stored, as this control 1 0 will go over here. This B will be stored in register 2. So my A and B will directly apply to my adder 1. At the same time, what I want, that this C is being stored in register 3, that is directly available to this adder, but from here the control 2 is 0. So that's why this D will be stored into the register 4 and that is applied to the adder. So now for this adder, C and D is applicable, and for this particular adder 1, A and B is applicable. So both will run and they will generate A plus B over here, which is nothing but my temp 1. Here C plus D is there, which is nothing but my temp 2. Now temp 1 and temp 2 both are being generated. Now what I need to do? I need to do the addition of temp 1 and temp 2. Now again, I have decided that I will store temp 1 over here. So that means temp 1 is available over here. Similarly, I will use the temp 2 over here for a storage in register 2. So temp 2 is available over here. It is not being stored into register yet. It is available over here. It will be transferred to the register according to this control signal. But still this control signal is 0 right now. Okay. Now what I want, that once this A plus B and C plus D is generated and this temp 1 and 2 are available, then what I want, that I want to do the addition of these two. So at that time what I would like to do, I would like to ensure that this temp 1 will be stored over here and this temp 2 will be stored over here. How I can make it? I need to make this control signal equal to 1. Now at that time I don't want to do anything over here. Then probably I can put it X over here. So there will be nothing happen over here, because currently I do not want to use this adder. Okay, because only this adder will help to go for a O3. Here I don't want to do anything. So in order to do that, what I will do? I will put a X only. So there will be nothing happen over here. Even you can have a one enable for this adder 1 and adder 2. So in a time step 2 you need to ensure that this is basically disabled, this is only enable. At that time this is also disabled. Okay, so for a multiplier also there is a enable signal, adder also there is a enable signal for both the adder. So in a time step 1 मेरे adder 1 और adder 2 दोनों enable है, पर एडर मेरा मल्टीप्लायर डिसेबल है. फिर टाइम स्टेप्स 2 के लिए मेरा डिस एडर इज इनेबल, ये एडर मेरा डिसेबल है. ठीक है, ये डिसेबल है और यहां पे भी कंट्रोल कुछ नहीं है, तो यहां पे रजिस्टर में भी कुछ नहीं होगा. यहां पे टेम्प 1 और टेम्प 2 स्टोर होंगे. ये टेम्प 1 अभी यहां पे जाएगा. सो हियर इन अ नेक्स्ट टाइम स्टेप टेम्प 1 यहां पे आएगा. सो ये टेम्प 1 आया, अभी यहां पे टेम्प 2 आया. ये एडर मेरा इनेबल है जिसकी वजह से टेम्प 3 जनरेट हुआ. ठीक है. नाउ वॉट एवर द टेम्प 3 इज बीइंग जनरेटेड, दैट टेम्प 3 अगेन आई एम यूजिंग अ सेम रजिस्टर. देखो ये जो रजिस्टर 1 है वो तीनों टाइम स्टेप में कुछ ना कुछ वैल्यू स्टोर कर रहा है. पहले टाइम स्टेप में ए कर रहा है, दूसरे टाइम स्टेप में टेम्प 1 कर रहा है, तीसरे टाइम स्टेप में टेम्प 3 कर रहा है. नाउ दिस टेम्प 3 इज अवेलेबल टू यू, लेकिन ये टेम्प 3 को अभी मुझे एडर में नहीं ले जाना. दैट मीन दिस एडर एंड दिस एडर वुड बी डिसेबल इन टाइम स्टेप 3. टाइम स्टेप 3 में मुझे क्या करना है, इसको इनेबल करना है. अभी मेरा ये इनेबल होगा, सो दिस विल बी इनेबल, सो मल्टीप्लायर विल बी इनेबल. नाउ व्हाट एवर द वैल्यू इज रजिस्टर, ये रजिस्टर की वैल्यू मल्टीप्लायर में भी अभी जाएगी क्योंकि मल्टीप्लायर अभी इनेबल हो गया. सो इट विल एक्सेप्ट द इनपुट. प्रीवियसली ये मल्टीप्लायर डिसेबल था, तो ये यहां पे जा रहा था रजिस्टर 1 की वैल्यू, लेकिन कुछ भी ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म नहीं हो रहा था क्योंकि वो डिसेबल मोड में था. लेकिन नाउ इट इज इनेबल. सो व्हाट हैपेंस दैट दिस टेम्प 3 विल गो ओवर हियर. नाउ व्हाट आई वांट, टेम्प 3, that time I need want this A, because what I want, A plus B plus C plus D into E. तो ये तो मेरा टेम्प 1 था, ये मेरा टेम्प 2 था. टेम्प 1 और टेम्प 2 का एडिशन करके मैंने टेम्प 3 लाया, पर टेम्प 3 को मुझे मल्टीप्लाई किससे करना है, E से. सो टेम्प 3 तो आ गया, लेकिन E मुझे यहाँ पे लाना है. सो E आई हैव चूज दिस रजिस्टर, तो वो भी इसको यहाँ पे मुझे लैच करना है, यहां पे भी इसको लैच करना है. तो दैट मींस कि थर्ड टाइम स्टेप में क्या होगा कि मेरा कंट्रोल 1 होगा, यहां पे कंट्रोल 2 जो पहले मैंने x रखा था अभी वो भी 1 होगा. सो कंट्रोल 1 एंड कंट्रोल 2 बोथ आर 1 सो दैट विल एंश्योर दैट कि यहां पे टेम्प 3 आएगा, यहां पे मेरा रजिस्टर E होगा, ये E वैल्यू जाएगी और ये E वैल्यू डायरेक्टली यहां पे आएगी. नाउ this multiplier is enabled, so it will accept both the input temp 3 and E, and it will give the multiplication and it will produce the answer temp 3 into E, which is nothing but my A plus B plus C plus D into E. So this is what I want. Okay, so here what important thing that you need to understand is you need to first of all design your data part, and then once you decide whatever your functional block that will act as a data part, then you cleverly need to generate the control signal so that you will get the desired functionality properly. तो यहाँ पे कंट्रोल स्टेप के कुछ स्लाइड्स है जिसमें ये डिफाइन किया गया है. देखो पहले में कंट्रोल 1 कंट्रोल 2 दोनों 0 रहेंगे, जिसकी वजह से जस्ट डायग्राम जस्ट इफ यू फॉलो कि A और B रजिस्टर 1 और रजिस्टर 2 में रिस्पेक्टिवली जाएगा. C और D मेरा रजिस्टर 4 में गया, एडर 1 और एडर 2 इनेबल है, मेरा आउटपुट जनरेट हुआ. ठीक है. नाउ इन अ सेकंड टाइम स्टेप सेकंड सीक्वेंस कौन सा होगा कि कंट्रोल 1 रहेगा, कंट्रोल 2x रहेगा. ठीक है, क्योंकि मुझे एडर 2 की जरूरत नहीं है, सिर्फ एक ही एडर की जरूरत है टाइम स्टेप 2 में. तो फिर क्या होगा कि टेम्प 1 मेरा रजिस्टर 1 में गया, टेम्प 2 मेरा रजिस्टर 2 में गया, वो एडिशन में जाएगा, टेम्प 3 जनरेट करेगा. टेम्प 3 फिर से मेरे रजिस्टर 1 के मक्स के इनपुट में जाएगा, जहां से सिलेक्शन होगा कि वो रजिस्टर 1 में जाएगा कि नहीं. फिर यहां पे नेक्स्ट टाइम स्टेप में मुझे क्या करना है, ई लेना है, तो मुझे उसके हिसाब से सिलेक्शन कंसीडर करना है. तो तीसरे टाइम स्टेप में मैं क्या करूंगा कि कंट्रोल 1 रहेगा, कंट्रोल टू भी 1 रहेगा, जिसकी वजह से मेरा टेम्प 3 यहां से आएगा मल्टीप्लायर के लिए और ई यहां से आएगा मल्टीप्लायर के लिए, एंड दैट विल जनरेट द डिजायर्ड आउट. ठीक है. सो दिस इज जस्ट अ समरी कि कैसे काम करेगा. दिस 3 स्टेप्स आर इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अ कंट्रोल पार्ट. दिस 3 स्टेप्स विच वी डिस्कस. ओके. ये हर एक टाइम स्टेप में, ये हर एक टाइम स्टेप दैट यू कंसीडर एज योर वन स्टेट. एक टाइम स्टेप में एक स्टेट होगा. So that means you can consider that here total 3 states are there. State 0, state 1, state 2. State 0 is where both the controls are 0, 0. State 1 is when control 1 is 1, control 2 is don't care. Okay. And state 3 where both are 1. So with this you can achieve the desired functionality and you can get the proper functionality of drawing the data part and control part for this particular circuit. I hope I was able to convince you whatever is being dictated. So still I think maybe the slides it with you. You can go back and you can just do that whatever is being written. If you have any issue, then probably I will explain it to you if you have a doubt to you again. That's all from my side. Yes. Any doubt if you have, then I would be more than happy. Hope you are not exhausted till. No doubt. Good. Then with this we are ending up our this module. Okay. So for this module probably in last 2-3 days we are doing a way that where we are taking a lecture in the morning as well as the afternoon to just ensure that whatever we have committed to deliver to you that we have covered. So with this means module 4, whatever the content is actually mentioned that is being covered. Apart from that Ravi sir has also completed some extra things in his 4 or 5 days lectures. So those will be also useful to you definitely. So with this we are ending up this module and we are stopping it over here. Now our module 5 would start from Monday. So tomorrow we have an exam. Okay. So for an exam the Canvas platform will be there. We will start the exam at 10 o'clock. The instruction you will be given once you join the Microsoft Teams, and then the link will be shared to you. Then probably you can start your exam through a Canvas. So tomorrow there will be exam. Then afterwards on a Monday, from Monday onwards, we will be starting with our next module, module 5. In a module 5 also probably we would like to cover or we would like to take 1 hour or maybe 1.5 hour at the afternoon session where we would like to cover a Python for a machine learning. Okay. Because somehow the machine learning portion because we need to cover your embedded machine learning and IoT. So for the machine learning we have initially thought about to keeping it at the extra day 6 day, but now I think probably we can have a every day 1 hour or maybe 1.5 hour regarding the machine learning where we will talk about some basic function of the machine learning and mainly we will explain about the Python. Okay. So that how through a Python you can develop the different machine learning model that you can do it at your end. Okay. So with this we are ending up this session. Hope to see you again. Okay. So please be prepared for tomorrow exam. As I said that we will start at 4 o'clock, 10 o'clock. See you. Bye.